Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel where we're playing the Battle of Cross Keys from Death Valley Battles for the Shenandoah. We're on turn 2, the 1300 hours turn. So in turn 1, Fremont just moved his 2 divisions, his own and Blanker's, forward. So we have the problem with Fremont's caution, so he can't really put anybody into, can't change orders easily. So I have gone through and I've done some of the stuff. So we've done the initiative segment and the Confederates won the initiative. I've determined chain of command. So as you can see, a lot of the Union units, especially their artillery and cavalry, are out of command. So is Coltz's brigade and Stahill's brigade are all out of command. So it's gonna kind of put a damper on their movement ability. And now we can go to activation efficiency. And I've already done that, and the Confederates have an activation efficiency of 2 and Union have one of 4. So now we do division orders, and this is the part where Fremont can change the order of one of his brigades based on the special rules. So what we're looking at is this section from the special rules about the VP difference. So the VP difference is obviously 0 right now, so you can give one brigade attack orders. So basically eligible brigades can be assigned attack orders, but since I was going to make Stahill give him an attack order, but he's out of command, so this turn I think I will give Bolin the attack order, and that will at least get him up. And then we can use this special rule, individual initiative, to try to change the order of Stalin's brigade. And Stalin will get a once Bolin becomes attack order, you add 1 to the die roll because he's adjacent to a unit already under attack orders. So that's kind of the plan. So we're going to give Bolin an attack order. I mean, it's going to take him forever to get anywhere, but we need to put him under attack order so that we can get Stalin under attack orders. And we're going to be we can at least move like this New York and this Pennsylvania regiment into this area and start pushing out the skirmishers who are out of command, because they're out of range of 1 turn worth of, or 1 activation worth of movement from their parent hex or their parent regiment. So yeah, so we'll put Bolin. I mean, it's gonna be pain in the butt because he's only gonna have 3 movement, but we'll get a couple activations out of him, and at least next turn we'll be able to get Stalin under activation attack orders, hopefully. So yeah, that's Fremont's division activation or division orders. Ewell is going to keep all his brigades under advance orders. So now we just go to reinforcement orders. Taylor is coming in, and he's just going to go on advance orders as well. And now initiative activation choice. Ewell is going to choose his own AM for activation first, and we've populated the AM pool already. So now we just go to our activation of Ewell's division. And I think what we're going to do is just fire pretty much every cannon we have. Try to get the first shot off, do some counter battery fire some of these skirmishers, and yeah, just hopefully put a dent in what the Union can throw at us as far as artillery fire. So yeah, I'll pause it here, do some rolling, and bring you back to show you what it looks like. Okay, here we are at the end of Ewell's activation. So from what I remember, the Baltimore Battery, Rockbridge Artillery, 8th Star. I have to look up what star is short for. Lynchburg 3-inch rifle, all fired at the artillery up here. Got a couple good disorders. Battery I, 1st Ohio. I think that's a new disorder. Battery G of 1st West Virginia. That's a new disorder, I think. So they got disordered. Unfortunately, the disorder, only the artillery got disordered. The infantry stacked underneath them passed their cohesion checks. So, I mess up everything. So that was the artillery fired. We didn't fire the skirmishers just because it's not worth getting return fire and then having to retreat or something. Taylor, you can kind of see he brought his brigade up in advance orders, but using March movement. And I just went ahead and split all the brigades, all the regiments. So that's Ewell's first activation complete. We'll go ahead and draw our next AM, and it is Yule again. So I think what we'll do is we'll just do some artillery firing. It'll be their... No, maybe we'll save our artillery in case Fremont moves forward. Then we have one more shot this turn without getting exhausted. I think after playing Winchester now I'm like doubly worried about fatigue, even though we have fatigue okay, then fatigue 0. So we have 2 levels of fatigue before we start like incurring negative modifiers, because 1 divided by round 1 halved rounded up is 1 again, so that's when you start getting DRMs. So we have all that to say. I'm probably not going to activate much this turn. I'm tempted to not even activate Taylor because I don't know which way I want to move him. I don't know if I want to send him out to the right for an attack or send him out left. I don't know if Clusert is going to try to come down this area, but we have the 31st Virginian Reserve, so that might be enough. And so that's why I'm thinking a counterattack on the eastern flank might be the way to go with Taylor, but I'm going to bide my time. I still have one more activation marker in the pool with Yule, so I think I'm going to hold Taylor tight for now and just go ahead and draw the next AM, which is going to be Fremont's division. So Fremont is going to do a lot of rallying, I think. The artillery needs to rally. We need to dress our lines a little bit. And like this 75th Ohio needs to get up to Schenck and his brigade. Schenck needs to shake out his line. I think he's got a lot of stuff kind of hodgepodge all over the place. So I'm going to go ahead and do that and bring you back when that's all set. Okay, so here's how it looks at the end of Fremont's activation. Schenck and Clusert move forward their brigades, kind of keeping in line. This little creek here is making it hard for Schenck to make a line, but he's done the best he can. Milroy stayed put because we didn't know if we were going to have to stay there the entire turn, so we got the auto rally, but we were able to rally and resupply all of his batteries. So they're going to be back in action next activation, and that's going to be Fremont's activation complete. So we go ahead and draw our next AM, and it is Blanker. So with Blanker, we have Bolin with the attack orders. He's probably only going to move like 2 hexes, to be honest. But we're going to move him. Probably going to rally the first New York so they get their ammo back. Dilger might fire, but he's out of command, so he'll only get 3 activations. And then of course we're going to use Stahel, sorry, I keep saying Stalin, Stahel to try to push out these skirmishers. And of course, bringing up the rear is Colts, but I don't know what to do with him yet. We're gonna have to use him as like a breakthrough force. Like the front is just not wide enough. So I'll bring you back when everybody's moved and show you what it looks like. Okay, so here we are at the end of Blanker's division's activation. So Bolin has moved his attack brigade forward, basically 1 hex. Stahel had to activate all 3 infantry regiments as well as Battery C to push out these skirmishers, but they did eliminate them. So that's at least 1 step destroyed that they don't have to worry about later. This skirmisher is proving a little bit more difficult because we can't get into these 2 hexes. So it's kind of just stopping Stahel's advance. And I'm tempted to throw another skirmisher out here because then it would stop them even further. But it looks like Stahel might get an attack order next turn. And to that end, I think we'll probably move Blanker. So let me pause real quick, move Blanker somewhere over here. So we can move Fremont over here, because I think this is going to be the side with the attack. So let me do that real quick. Okay, so we've moved Blanker over into a more central location. He'll still have command radius to Bolin, and now we move Stahel back to the Bucktails, and now they'll be in command, and hopefully we'll complete this like brigade chain so that everybody's in Stahel's brigade is going to be in command. Shouldn't be that hard with how many more activations we have. So let's go ahead and pull the next activation marker. It is Blanker. So let's just finish what we started. Move Stahel's brigade. We can only pretty much make it to here, but at least they'll be in line and ready to push forward. Colts brigade will be the second line, ready to maybe come through this way, like advance an echelon maybe or something. But then Bolin with his attack order can at least get closer than 3 hexes. So let's go ahead and do that. Okay, so this is the end of Blanker's division. As you can see by the light, it's been a day or two since I was able to play, and I had to leave before I could record what happened to Blanker's division. But from what I remember, he moved up both Bolin and Stahel's. So Stahel's are the white cohesion boxes, I believe. Bolin's are the yellow, and Colts is the green. So you can see they're kind of bunched up in this area. We're going to try to make an attack through these trees. Maybe push down this creek line. Pin the Confederates on Mill Creek while Colts and part of Stahel's brigades swing around the flank maybe. The problem is Taylor is going to be coming up in reserve, and we don't have enough attack orders to be able to put Schenck and Clusert into attack orders from Fremont. So the only other thing that happened for Blanker's activation was Dilger tried to fire his howitzers at a Lynchburg battery. Also, I figured out that 8th Star is just called the 8th Star battery. It's Rice's battery. But so Dilger fired, Lynchburg battery return fire, got him disordered. And I don't think it affected... Yeah, so the 2nd New York passed its cohesion test. We're getting into the territory now because it's been a while since I was able to play that I forget how many times like Dilger activated. I think he gets 1 more activation because I see 2 Blanker chits down. Oops. And since he's out of command, he would have 1 fewer. activations. But anyway, that's Blanker's division complete. So now we go ahead and pull the next chip. And it is Blanker again. Look at that. Oh, you would if it was in focus. So with Blanker's division, we're going to try to get Bolin up to here. Move, well, we can't move Stahell's brigade any closer because of the 3 hex limit. So I'm going to have to think about this, see what happens when I come back with you. Alright, so not too much happened here. Only Bolin's brigade activated. And what happened? They kind of moved into line, shaking out the line a little bit. Again, they're in attack order, so and they're moving through woods, so they don't get very many movement points. The Battery I, the 1st New York, fired on the Lynchburg Battery, disordered them, and then the return fire, one of the batteries one of the sections from 8th Star got a low ammo, and same thing with another section from the Richmond Battery, got low ammo, firing back, but they didn't connect it with anything. So it's on to the next activation. As the Confederates, we know that we have at least 2 more Fremont activations left, because we've seen 3 Blanker activations. So the next one is Fremont, and we don't really have much to do. We'll probably just fire some artillery from Milroy, clean up the line a little bit, and maybe move Schenck up so that he's here. I'll bring you back when that's done. Okay, so Fremont's division has completed their activation. A lot of artillery fire. The 12th Ohio shot at the 8th Star Battery, and the return fire made them disorder, and it also made the 5th West Virginia disordered. G Battery, 1st West Virginia, got a low ammo marker, and nothing happened on the Confederate side. Schenck just kind of moved his brigade. Clusert didn't want to move his brigade forward because it would trigger an approach fire. Same thing with Schenck if he moved any closer. Milroy is just happy sitting with the cannons for now. He might come up later. So that's Fremont's activation complete. Next activation is Confederate Cavalry. I don't think we're going to do anything. Let me zoom out. So we have the 2nd Virginia over here behind Mill Creek, dismounted. Neither side, I don't think, really wants to commit their cavalry because that costs victory points if you lose steps. And then same thing over here with Munford. It might be worth moving him up to this position actually, because now that we have other infantry coming in here, we have Taylor's brigade coming up. We no longer need Munford to protect Goods Mill in this road. So let me mount him, and I think they get half their movement, so we'll take them up that road. Okay, so Munford and the 2nd Virginia and the 6th Virginia have started their turn up this road. Next activation is another cavalry, Confederate cavalry. So we'll just move him. They have 9. Okay, so here's Munford's cavalry after its move. And the next activation was a Confederate cavalry. We just moved, who was it? The 2nd Virginia up with the 6th Virginia under Munford. So now we have this road covered off, and if the Federals decide to push out this way, we'll at least have something in that direction. Next activation is Yule. Now this is a pretty critical activation because it's Yule's last activation for the turn. And looking at the Union activations played, they've already played 3 Blanker activations and 2 Fremont. So that means Fremont has at least 1 more activation, and they could have drawn a 4 efficiency, so then Blanker would have had 1 more activation as well. So I'm going to go ahead and take a look at it and then bring you back to decide what we're going to do. Alright, so this is the end of Yule's activation. I think I just remembered to put fatigue on Bowling because he activated 3 times. I think he's the only brigade that's activated 3 times. Colts, I don't think activated thrice. And Stahel, I don't think activated 3 times. So, but I don't know because Fremont's only activated twice. So yeah, the Union fatigue is okay. Now on Yule's side, the artillery, like brigade, because they trace chain of command to Ewell on our divisional artillery, they did a rally and ammo resupply. So Lynchburg just barely passed its cohesion test, and so they rallied. And everybody else got their low ammo markers taken off. Now the big thing that happened was, well, I guess 2 things. So down here, are you going to be able to see it? No, I have to zoom out. Okay, there you go. So 31st Virginia, LZ put them forward onto the left flank around the Rodehefer farmhouse. And putting him here will prevent Clusert from advancing any further until he gets attack orders. So that was kind of a gamey way of preventing them from moving forward, but maybe Clusert hears them rattling in the trees, and so he's hesitant to move any closer. And then Taylor brought his Louisianians up here and onto this road, and we might counterattack. I don't know. I haven't decided yet. And the only thing he did was, you could see just barely here down at Mill Creek Church, he left the 9th Louisiana Regiment, and we're going to use him as, well, this is as far as he could move, but we're going to put him maybe in this area over here near the beam house as a general reserve, or kind of maybe just kind of unofficially attach him to Trimble, because we already have too many units to really do anything here. We don't need to extend the line any further, so it's good to have a little bit of reserve. Anyway, so that's Yule's activation complete, and that's going to be his activations complete for the turn. And now we draw another AM, and it is the random event. So on a 8 or 9 random event happens, we roll a 1, so no random event. Next AM is Blanker, but I don't think anybody's going to activate because we don't want any more fatigue or anything. So Milroy is going to activate with Fremont's division to try to rally those guys. So let's do the next AM, and it is Fremont, and the last one's going to be Fremont as well, but I guess we'll only use them if we can't rally them. So we'll rally the 12th Ohio. They get a plus or a -1 for Milroy being in the stack. They roll a 9. Uh-oh. I know that's a bad thing. So on the rally table, so they rolled a 9, which would be bad, but their cohesion rating is a 5, so it's not double. So an 8, because they're stacked with Milroy, remains disordered. So they got lucky there. And now the 5th West Virginia has a cohesion of 5 as well. So they try to rally, and they roll a 5 -1 for Milroy means they are no longer disordered, so they just got a little flustered by all the cannon shot exploding around them. And well, since it's a rally action, they will lose their low ammo marker. Dilger will try to rally as well. Sorry, I should have rallied Dilger for. I'm pretty sure rally doesn't count towards fatigue. That would be silly. So yeah, we'll rally Dilger. He rolls a 9. And he doesn't have a leader. So a 9 is unit remains disordered and loses an SP. Okay, so that's the turn complete. Don't think, because Fremont was the last chit and we didn't do anything with him. So we are going to do the commander movement phase. We're going to move Fremont, I think, down here. It's going to put him out of command with Shank, but hopefully we'll put him in the command range of Blinker. Yeah, that'll be fine. That'll put him in command range of Blinker, who then put all of these guys back in command. So yeah, that's the commander movement completed. And we don't need to do any replacement recovery, I don't believe. So combat effectiveness is fine. And now we just advance the turn marker. So now we're in the 1400 hour. And I'm going to call the video to a close there. I guess this is kind of mirroring the historical scenario where it's not very easy for the Union to get up and engage with the Confederates. If Ewell gets some more activations next turn, then I can imagine him really letting loose with the artillery. I wish there was an easier way to track how many activations things have made, but you really just have to keep it on your head, and I'm so bad at that. So I'm sure there's other units that are supposed to be at fatigue okay or something. Like Taylor, actually I think he should be at fatigue okay, because no, he only moved twice, so he's fine. Anyway, so that's what I mean. Sometimes it's hard to keep track of how many activations there are. So for the next turn, the 1400 hours turn, we're going to try to get Stahel into attack orders, chaining it off of Bolin, I believe, with the individual initiative roll, because the victory points haven't changed, so Fremont can't assign another brigade attack orders. So if Stahel can't get it, I'm tempted to wait another turn in this area, just maybe shoot out some more artillery exchanges, try to get some easy victory points, but we'll see. On the Confederate side, I'm really tempted to launch this counterattack with the Louisianians, maybe part of Trimble's brigade too. If we could push up through here, we could just nip this in the bud. I mean, yeah, it is tempting to just let them come at us. And I might give it another turn, set up our attack, or our brigade over here, Taylor's brigade, fix everything up all nice, and then attack maybe in the 1500 hours turn. We do have Patton's brigade, has 3 regiments in it, or 2 regiments and a battalion coming in as reinforcements. So we might move him up into this area, then 9th Louisiana can join in on the attack, or just use Patton as a fallback line for the attack. Anyway, that's all aspirational at this point, and until then, I hope you come back for the next video, but until then, bye for now.